Cause I'm on another level. I'm bringing things to life like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, like I'm Geppetto, pedo, pedo, pedo.
Pulling strings like Geppetto.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Geppetto here, back again. Look, I just came from the gym, pardon my attire, and I'm about to go back to the gym. Your boy has been on his fitness grind like crazy, getting back in shape. But anyway, so I have a video up about the pros and cons of bartending, and that video still gets a lot of views. And I actually stopped bartending, I want to say like 2 years now, and last night I was in the bed just dreaming about how good that money was. I was like, man, I miss the money, you know? Just counting all my money at night, paying everything in cash. I was just like, But I had to stop. And I think a lot of y'all would be like, oh, if you was making so much money, why did you stop? There's definitely a reason why I stopped bartending. Bartending, you know, there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. So I just want to tell you guys why I stopped bartending, and kind of like the 10 reasons why you should make bartending a career. All right. Number 1, the money is too unpredictable. Now, like I said, when the money is good, it's good. I'm talking about, bruh, when I had like a good week in bartending, or not even a full week, it could probably be like a good weekend. I probably worked like my 2 or 3 bartending jobs, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. When it was a lit weekend, I could have easily made over $1,000. And it's not that many jobs that you can work, you know, only a couple times a week and make that much money. So when the money is good, it's great. Now, when the money is bad, it's bad. I'm talking about, I had some weekends where I didn't make shit. Probably in 3 days, I only made like $200 and something. And the great thing about having like a 9 to 5 is that you always know when your direct deposit is gonna hit. You already gonna know what your check is gonna be looking like, and that's a great thing. So when you are bartending or like a server in the hospitality industry, unless you live in like Orlando, Miami, let me see where else, maybe Hawaii, definitely Vegas, and I guess some parts of California, where it's, you know, constant tourism, you know, the weather is pretty good, people are always out drinking. Any place else, you're gonna definitely have seasonal bartending crowds. Cause I live in Atlanta, and I want to say it gets really slow for bartenders, like right after Cinco de Mayo. Even it gets even a little slower before then. I think right at the end of winter, February is a pretty slow month. March, it might crank up a little bit for like a week or 2. April is slow. May, you might get a week in May because there's like, you know, a lot of graduations party. But definitely like May and June are slow months. It starts to pick up more like the end of June and July. And then you got, you know, you kind of get some steady months until then. So yeah, so when the months are slow, you're pretty much assed out, and it's kind of sucky because then, you know, you got to find alternate ways to get your money up. Again, I know all the bartenders I know have multiple bartending jobs, so you would have to kind of like scrunch your money up in different ways, and it's not as lucrative as you think. So because the money was so unpredictable, that was one of the reasons, you know, that I stopped bartending. Number 2, no benefits. Most of the bartenders I know, again, like I said, they have multiple bartending jobs. Most of like the club, lounge, strip club, events bartenders. Most of those companies, most of the bartenders are like quote unquote part-time employees. So you don't really get any insurance benefits. You don't really get that much, like, 401k, all that kind of crap. You may, if you work at like a hotel or like a chain restaurant, and if you work full time for one of these things, bartending, then you might have like, some decent benefits. But for the majority of bartenders, the benefits are not good, because you are making a lot of cash at times, but then like all the other benefits just kind of like go to the side, because most bartenders, you don't really make that much per hour. Bartenders make anywhere from like $2 to $5 an hour, $7 an hour. I think the most I heard for a bartender was like $10 an hour, and that's working at a hotel. So like, yeah, when you're a full-time bartender, you really don't have benefits, and it's up to you to save, pay for insurance and all that kind of stuff, and then it can get kind of pricey. So that was the second reason. Number 3, there's really no career growth. When you're a bartender, the most you can do is, I guess, become a lead bartender, and then most people don't really want to like move up to be like a lead bartender, because then that's way more responsibilities. You have to kind of essentially be in charge of other bartenders, that you might have to help count down a whole bunch of registers. And a lot of bartenders don't really want to go into management, because again, when you go into management, you definitely, you miss that fast money and the flexibility. So a lot of bartenders I know who are just stuck being bartenders, and what started to freak me out was I was working with a lot of other bartenders who were like in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s, and they had been bartending for like 20 years, and it was like scary to me that, some of them were complaining like, oh my gosh, I need to make money today, I gotta pay my mortgage, or I gotta pay this bill. And it's like, I was like, I don't want to be in my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, talking about if I don't make enough money, I can't pay my bill. So that was scary to me. So like, the no career growth was definitely another reason. Number 4, you definitely get stuck. That kind of ties into number 3. Again, you get stuck because the money is so good that you sometimes are just like, I don't really want to go work a regular job. I'll just keep doing this, and then you're kind of like in the beck and call of like the customers. So if you have a crappy night, that's it. You just got to deal with it, because it's not like you can put in and get some overtime at like a regular job, or even you can make up your hours another way. If there's no customers, whatever establishment you're working at, you're just stuck. And again, a lot of bartenders just end up bartending for years and really have nothing to show for it. So you definitely get stuck being a bartender. And like I said, when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. Number 5, it is physically demanding. Now, unless you are at one of like the really lucrative bartending spots, where pretty much like every day you go and you're pretty much guaranteed to make a certain amount of money, I would say the majority of bartenders have to hustle. So like I said, some of them have multiple bartending jobs. They might work a morning, afternoon bartending job, and then go work at like a club or something at night, and you're doing doubles every day sometimes just to come home with some decent amount of tips. And bartending, you are lifting up heavy boxes, you're twisting, you're turning, you're bending, sometimes you cut yourself on something, you're ripping and running, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing that. And at the end of the night, you're probably not getting home until like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like freaking exhausted. Low key, I had put on a good amount of weight when I was bartending, because like I said, I was one of the bartenders who had to work 2 bartending jobs to really make some good money. And I would be so hustling, like, working, that by the time I come home at like 1, 2 in the morning, the only thing that's open is freaking like fast food, and your boy ain't trying to eat no salad at 2 in the morning. What the hell I look like eating a salad? And I'm a vegetarian too, so my options were limited. So man, at 2 in the morning, I was 10 up. Some onion rings, some french fries, some cheese sticks, and just chips, all like the unhealthy, crappy food that was available at that time of night. So it's definitely physically demanding. I'm talking about your back hurt, your hand hurt, your legs hurt from being on your feet all day. So yeah, you definitely will be working a lot. Bartending is not a cute job where you're just like pouring a little drink and sliding it across the bar. Like no, you got a pre set up. Well, not pre set up. You got prep. What the heck am I saying pre set up? You got a prep set up. That's normally like an hour before your shift. You work your shift, then it's like normally another hour to shut down. So you are working a full physically demanding shift. So yeah, it's physically demanding. Don't get confused by that. The next thing is too many shady characters. I can't tell you how I was this close, probably this close to getting in full fist fights at my bartending jobs because straight up you just got some haters at some bartending jobs. It could be shady bartenders, it could be shady management, shady supervisors. I've had situations where other bartenders have tried to steal my tips. And again, as bartenders, a lot of us went, especially like me, I was a popular bartender. You build up your regulars and stuff like that. I've had people try to steal my regulars, like, let's say I stepped in the back to do something and then everybody knows that this person is my regular and they ask me, you tell them, oh, he's not here. Let me go ahead and get you started. And again, so many, I had managers tried to steal tips from me, tried to do shady stuff with my credit card tips. Yeah, so it's just a lot of shady stuff that goes on. Like when you're a bartender, you really, like I always said that bartending is kind of like being a stripper or a drug dealer because you always gotta like look left and look right. Because yes, you do have some honest people who you can work with. Like I had probably like a handful of bartenders that like when we worked together, we had each other's backs. Like, hey yo, I know so and so is your bartender. Hold on, let me go get him. Or if somebody left a tip, like, hey, the other bartender made me a good drink. Can you give them this tip? Was an honest bartender, so I would take the tip and hand it to the other bartender. Some other bartenders don't give a damn about that. All that integrity crap is gone. They will straight up steal your tips, steal your customers, try to sabotage you. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. So like, yeah, that was another reason why I was just like, I was just tired of like having to check people at work because like I said, I came very close to straight up like throwing hands. The last bartending gig that I had, and it was at a country club. The supervisor, I was making tips and the supervisor, and this was my first day, the supervisor randomly came, I was making money, he was like, yeah, can you go and go get something like from like a ways away? But I was just like, okay, well, I'm bartending right now. He's like, oh, I got it, I just need you to go get this whatever. Cool. And he was like a shady ass person, and I was just like, okay, out of integrity, I'm just like, we in a country club, I'm thinking the brother is not gonna do nothing to my tips. And it was another bartender there with me, and he was like, he'll look at my tip jar. This dude went and started like bartending because it was like a packed wedding, and I the people were moderately tipping. He gonna jump in my spot and start bartending and start pocketing the tips that he was making. So after I come back from this voyage, like my manager is like, hey, like, where were you at? And I said, oh, the supervisor, he sent me to get, all these other stuff. And he was like, why would he send you? He was the one who was supposed to get that. You're supposed to stay at the bar at all times. So when me and the manager walk back to the bar, we see him straight up bartending. So then my manager asked him like, hey, so why did you send him? Why didn't you go get the additional supplies? And I'm talking about, it was a walk away. It was like a smooth 10-minute walk to go get these other like random things he sent me for. This brother gonna look at me dead, and I'm seeing like straight up like dollar bills and stuff like that in his little blazer. he gonna say, oh, I didn't know where you were, bro. Like, you just kind of left. I said, what? And I'm just like, yo, he sent me to go get some stuff. And then I was just like, I started thinking about it. And I was like, oh, homie was just trying to make some quick cash at the bar and sent me on a dummy run. And then him and I started getting into it, but I was just like, you know what, I'm beat professional, because if I start fighting this dude in the middle of this wedding, you know, we gonna both get arrested in front of all these white people at this country club. And then later on, when like the wedding reception and stuff happened, like the bar moved and we were bartending, this scamming ass nigga gonna come and be like, hey bro, like, you know, I mean, my bad, you know, I just needed a couple dollars. I'm like, bitch. I was like, yo, get from my bar, fam. I said, look, and I was like, because me and you about to start boxing at this bar. And my manager, like, he knew the supervisor had did something shady, and then the manager himself, he was new too. So he was like, hey, I'm gonna deal with it, but like, yeah, y'all gotta get along, because, you know, he is gonna be over you for the rest of the event. And I said, if I gotta work with this brother here who legit try to play me on some money, I was like, let me go ahead and this be my first and last day, because I'm gonna end up going to jail, because I'm gonna beat this dude up. So yeah, you're gonna work with a whole bunch of shady characters, and you have to look at your money. That was another reason. Number 7. There's like an unspoken, you know, rule that bartenders don't really give other bartenders tricks up. So there's a lot of ways that you can finesse either the customer or the establishment you're working with to get more money. I'm not saying necessarily like writing, like I never did anything crazy like somebody leave me a $2 tip and I made it into like, I guess an $8 tip. I never did anything like that. But there are ways, if you are smart and you've been bartending for a while, that you can make additional money. You know, I know a lot of bartenders are gonna say this. I don't want to give up my secrets, because again, the average person will walk into a bar and then catch it like, you just try to pull that. I seen Geppetto's video. But you do kind of have to finesse a lot of customers, or sometimes even your manager, to get money on the side. And it's simple things bartenders know how to do. Like I said, I got trained by like some old school bartenders, because at one job I was working at, I just felt like I wasn't making enough money, and then these other bartenders were making like double what I was making. And I was like, what the heck? And I was just like, yo, I'm a fly ass young bartender. Why am I not making as much as these older bartenders? And one of the older bartenders like literally pulled me to the side and put me on the game. Like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I was like, oh, like, wow, like, that's how y'all be making extra money. Again, I don't necessarily want to spill the beans on what, you know, some bartenders do, because again, I still have a lot of friends who use these tactics to make additional money. But you do have to kind of sometimes be dishonest to make some extra money, because sometimes people straight up don't want to tip you. And to guarantee you make some money, you sometimes have to do a lot of finessing. And I just kind of got tired of doing that. Again, I'm not saying I was scamming folks as far as like doing anything crazy with people's credit cards or whatever, but it's ways you can move around stuff where, like, you know, I don't know. I just don't want to tell y'all the beans. But yeah, I just got tired of having to do extra finessing to get good tips. You know, I just wanted to sometimes walk in, do my shit and leave. Number 8. If you are someone who bartending is kind of like supplemental income, or you're just bartending for a few years to get out of a tight spot or going through school, bartending hurts your resume. So let's say you're in school for, I don't know, criminal justice, or like, I don't know, whatever random career that has nothing to do with the hospitality industry. And let's say you really was bartending for 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get your way through school, you know, get that quick money or whatever. When you do decide to leave bartending and you start applying for regular jobs, you know, you done had 4 or 5 years, because you can't put that you are a bartender when you are filling out an application to be a receptionist, or to fill out an application to be a teacher or a nurse, or whatever the job it is, or to, like, you know, work in a corporate office. You can't put bartending down for that, because it has nothing to do with the career field. And I'm pretty sure, I hope y'all know that your bartender, your resume is supposed to be catered to what the job you're applying for. So if you had a 4 or 5 year, you know, gap while you was bartending, employers are kind of look at your resume and gonna be like, well, what were you doing for the last 4 years? Because if your last job was, I don't know, working in an office back 4 years ago, there's like a huge employment gap, and like you don't really want to put that you was a bartender for 4 years at a corporate job. So it does hurt your resume. Luckily for me, all the time I was bartending, I was also working at hotels, and I just know how to finesse my resume. So I kind of was able to get away with it when I finally decided to stop bartending. But I know a lot of other bartenders, when they get tired of bartending and they decide to get like regular jobs, it's hard for them because they have this big gap of working as a bartender, and then it's like their last regular job was like many years ago. So employers kind of like look at the resumes funny. So it does hurt your resume if you have just been strictly bartending for a while. Okay, number 9, dealing with drunk people. Now, you have the happy drunks, the loving drunks, the people who are just like, hey there, bro, you're my buddy, okay? You're a good guy. And they'll come tell you all their deepest, darkest secrets. They're your friend, you know, they're tipping you well and stuff like that. You have those people. And then you have the straight up rude, you know, volatile drunks who yell at you. I haven't had a situation where somebody tried to put their hands on me, but I've had people throw drinks, not necessarily at me, but like try to throw a drink on somebody else, and then it splashed back on me. I had this one drunk guy, he took his, it was one of those aluminum bottles of beer, he kind of chucked it at the garbage can. The beer, it was something like out of a movie, the beer did this, hit the garbage can, and flipped up, and all the beer just splashed on me. I done had people knock drinks over in the bar, splash on me, and then you're always in this weird position because, again, you're serving adults, and then some people get very offended when you told them like, hey, you've had enough, and then some people have a good alcohol tolerance, so like sometimes they might be really drunk and they're not acting like it. Then you kind of gotta be nervous because you're like, is this person driving, is whatever, and then when you try to like put yourself in a situation where you're like, hey, I don't think you should be driving, you'll get cussed out or whatever the case may be. Whenever I was in a situation like that, I made sure I read and I told my manager like, hey, this guy drunk a little bit too much, like this. So I'm just like, I would always let my manager know like, hey, let's go, you know, call the authorities or whatever, because I don't feel like he should be driving. And it was just like, again, I just got tired of dealing with that bullshit, drunk ass people. I done had people fall off the bar, you know, vomit near the bar. Every crazy ass situation I've had being a bartender. So sometimes you just get tired of that shit. You just wanna, again, just go to a regular situation where you ain't got to deal with all the extraness. So that was like number 9, just dealing with drunk people, because drunk people sometimes can be a pain in the fucking ass. And number 10, mainly the reason why I stopped bartending was I just had to follow my dreams, y'all. Y'all know I'm in entertainment. I'm a writer, actor, and a director. And while bartending is very flexible, it also started like influencing me to think more about money over like following my dreams. Meaning like if I had, let's say I was supposed to do something because when you're an up and coming actor and a director, you don't make that much money. So if it was a situation where I probably got like a tiny role or something coming up, but I had got booked to bartend this event and they're just telling me straight up like, hey, we're gonna pay you $400 for it. I'm sitting there like, should I go bartend, get this easy $400? Or should I go do this one little small role that I'm not getting that much money for? And the fact that I was like debating that a lot, I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta kind of let bartending go, because it was like, yeah, the whole reason I started bartending was, number one, I wanted to go to school and finish school. I was able to do that, you know, thank you bartending, you know, energy out there that looked out for your boy. And I wanted a flexible job, and it just started kind of like really influencing me to think more about the money as opposed to my passion. And don't get it twisted, sometimes I sit back because it's officially been 2 years now. Has it been 2 years? No, I'm tripping. It hasn't been 2 years. It's only been a year, because I worked at that country club, yeah, last year. I'm tripping. It hasn't been 2 years. So forget what I said earlier in the video. It's only been a year that I've officially stopped bartending. I did have a gap where I didn't bartend for like, I want to say like 10 months. And then I tried to start back in the beginning of 2018. And then it was like, God was like, I told you you're done. So I was just like, yeah, after that horrible situation where that supervisor tried to finesse me, I was like, yeah, I think I'm out of the bartending game for good. But anyways, you guys, if you guys were bartenders and you kind of let it go, let me know. Again, bartending to me, unless you live in one of those tourist heavy cities, it's not really the best career choice. It's great for supplemental income and flexibility. But as far as like being a full-time bartender, I don't really suggest it, to be honest with you. Again, I do miss the money. I do miss some of my bartender friends. I do miss the, like, you know, the unpredictable, you know, atmosphere you was working in. But at the end of the day, I just got tired of bartending and I just wanted to get out. But strangely enough, when I do become rich and wealthy, I would love to open up like some restaurants and bars, because I feel like I could open up. I really would know how to take care of, you know, a young hip clientele, and I'm looking forward to doing that in the next couple of years. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys for doing this. Again, if you was a bartender, if you're thinking about bartending, or like, you know, you left bartending like me, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on bartending. Do you miss it? Are you currently a bartender thinking about a career change? Like I said, it's all good. Go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna wait. Y'all subscribed already? Like, comment, send this video to everybody else. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at ITSGIPPETTO. ITSGIPPETTO. Follow me there, and I love y'all, man. More videos coming soon. Thank y'all for supporting the kid. You dig? Peace out.